What's good, everybody? I'm BPC, and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. Well, the notorious Conor McGregor faced off against Dustin "The Diamond" Poirier in the main event at UFC 257 in the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. See, Conor McGregor was going into this fight as the fan favorite, considering when these two first faced off about 6 years ago, Conor was able to score a KO victory in just under 2 minutes. Well, going to this fight, Conor had predicted that he was going to KO Dustin in as little as 60 seconds, but then contradicted himself a little bit by stating that he wanted to get some more fight time. If you recall, Conor hasn't been in the Octagon since about a year ago, and in that fight with Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone, he disposed of the Cowboy in as little as 45 seconds. So therefore, he hadn't had a lot of fight time. He said he wanted to get in there. He said he wanted Dustin to kind of push him so he can get more in-ring experience, since he hasn't had so much in the past couple of years. Well, I have a link at the end of this video which you can check out, which I talked about what Dustin needed to do in order to win this fight. And one of the things that I stated was that Dustin was going to have to grapple with Conor in the first 2 to 3 rounds to really wear Conor down. And as we know, Dustin gets better as the fight continues, and that would be his key to the victory. Well, in the first round, they started off and they had good exchanges in the beginning, both, slugging each other in the face. And then what did Dustin do? He took Conor McGregor down to the ground, precisely what I was saying that he needed to do in order to get the victory. Now, while he took him down, Conor remained very calm, he remained very collective, and he didn't burn any energy. And he managed to get himself back onto the feet. But I think he spent a little bit of time on the ground just thinking about how much he enjoyed the content on Competitive Origins MMA. And if you guys haven't subscribed to Competitive Origins MMA yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and ground and pound the like button. So as I said, Conor McGregor got back onto his feet, and these two were engaged in a clinch. Now, although Dustin was the one pushing for the clinch, Conor was getting the better of the exchanges. Conor would land a shoulder blow, the same similar shoulder blow that he landed against Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone, in which Conor utilizes more of an uppercut method. He goes upwards. And he landed Dustin square in the nose. He got him really good, and you just saw the facial reaction on Dustin, like, woo, you know what I mean? Like, that was a good one. Now Dustin didn't want to just let Conor, shoulder him in the face, so therefore he leveled some back, in which he uses more of a forward direction. Now, I don't think they were as effective as Conor McGregor's shoulders, but I think he just wanted to kind of let Conor know that you're not just going to shoulder me and get away with it. But as the clinch continued, and Dustin was trying to wear on Conor, like I said, remained calm and put his head in great position, and then started landing some knee shots on Dustin. And then he followed it up with an elbow. So he had a really good exchange in the clinch and got the better of the two. Now, as they broke, Dustin started leveling some kicks to the calf. And, this looked like, okay, he's landing a kick to the calf, and Conor didn't check it. And then he lands another kick to the calf, and I think, this is going to eventually lead to, some problems for Conor down the road if he doesn't start checking these kicks, because it will wear on your calf muscle at the end of the day. But, Conor, did get the better of exchanges following the calf kicks. He landed some really great shots. And even in the post-fight interview, Dustin did say that Conor did hurt him with some of these strikes. So Conor still has the power after all this time. Well, the round came to an end, and I had to rule that round in favor of Conor McGregor because, like I said, he got the better of the exchanges when they were in the clinch, and when they separated, he landed some really great shots, and that's why I gave it to him. Well, in the second round, they started it off again, and Conor looked more aggressive in this fight. I wish this is the Conor that kind of came out in the first round. He was a lot more aggressive. He was starting to land some strikes. He was hitting Dustin really great. And Dustin then began to start off with the leg kicks again. I think Dustin realized this was part of the game plan. This is what he needed to do, and he kept kicking at the legs. Well, finally, Conor started to check the kick, but I don't think he checked it just quite right. And therefore, instead of it being bone on bone, it was like bone on a little bit of the muscle and the bone. Therefore, Dustin was still able to continue to damage the leg of Conor McGregor. Well, it continued on in the fight, and basically I saw a situation where I was like, what's wrong with Conor? Why isn't he moving? Like, he looked like an old man, like a deer in the headlights just getting hit, because Dustin started unloading with a couple shots. And you see Conor move, he's moving like that, he's moving like that. So he obviously wasn't knocked out, but he was immobilized. All those leg kicks via Dustin ended up paying off, and Conor was in a position where he couldn't use the footwork to kind of get away and avoid the danger. And, as we know, if you're going to keep taking the shots, finally, Dustin hit him square on the button and put Conor down. He then followed to continue to hit him some more, and the referee had to jump in and stop the fight, thus giving Dustin Poirier the TKO victory and avenging his first loss to Conor McGregor, now evening these two guys up 1-1. Now, I think Dustin's key to victory in this fight were obviously his leg kicks. It was really smart of him to throw the legs out there to wear out Conor. If Conor doesn't have his legs, then he can't really get out of the way of the punches, and he can't really land some great shots. I think he also did a great job by not fighting wild. There was a point in time when, Dustin did throw some kind of wild shots, but he did that, far and few between in this fight. He definitely fought completely different than he fought against, Dan the Hangman Hooker. Dan the Hangman Hooker, he just kind of boxed it out with him. It wasn't a lot of kicks. It was, like I said, rock 'em, sock 'em, box. And in this situation, he was not going to play that game with Conor. He utilized, more kicking strategy. And I think I honestly feel like he respected Conor more than he respected Hooker, in the sense that, he wasn't just going to go wild with him. He felt like he could do that with Hooker and have a little bit of fun and just go out and do his thing. He obviously had a game plan going to this fight, and he wanted to make sure that he got that victory to place him in contention for that title shot. Now, Conor McGregor, on the other hand, is going to have to go back to the drawing board. He did look like he was in good condition. I heard some people talking about, like, he got tired. He didn't get tired. He just wasn't able to move much because his leg was damaged. It wasn't because he was tired. He wasn't huffing and puffing. You know what I mean? He didn't look worn out. It was just the fact that his leg was damaged. He's going to have to change up his stance, though. When he fought against Nate Diaz the second time around, he started utilizing more kicks. He wasn't necessarily always in a boxing stance the whole fight. And therefore, I think this is what he's going to have to go to. He's going to have to practice on checking the kicks. So therefore, Dustin's not going to have an advantage over just kicking the leg and then, immobilize him and then basically fire off on him. Conor's going to have to be a little bit more active, a little bit more movement. And I would like to see Conor be a little bit more aggressive. When he gets aggressive, and like I said, Dustin Poirier did say he landed some really great shots that that hurt him, and he would have been in really big trouble if Conor continued on. Conor needs to be more aggressive. He needs to fight like a lion. Forget about all this ring time. Let's get in there and get the win. You get the ring time when somebody pushes you to that point, but don't go in there looking to get the extra ring time. It was a great fight overall. I am looking forward to the rematch, if it were to take place. As we know, when Conor wants the rematch, he typically gets the rematch. He did say he would love to do it for a third time. I'm not quite sure if he's ready to just jump in there right away and go for it again. I feel like he needs to work on himself a little bit, but he did state that he wants to be a little bit more active this year, actually a lot more active. He had stated, previously that in 2020, he wanted to fight 3 times that year, and he fought once, and then COVID struck, and he wasn't able to fight anymore. And there's talks that he wanted to fight. There are talks that Dana didn't want him to fight. There's all these different things that came about. We don't know the true story at the end of the day, but Conor has stated that he would love to fight many more times this year. He needs to be more active. He feels he has a lot of ring rust on him, and that's definitely possible. As we know, ring rust is not always physical, it's also mental, and he just met his match this night, and Dustin had the perfect game plan, to withstand Conor's punishment and to immobilize Conor and to get the victory. Go into the comment section below and let me know what you thought of the fight. Did you see it the same way that I did, or do you have a different opinion on how the fight went? Go to competitiveorigins.com, type in promo code MMA62 so you can get 10% off this Competitive Origins Whatever It Takes t-shirt. Thank you for tuning in today, guys. I'm BPC, and remember, you've been competing since conception. Whether you're competing against yourself or others, Competitive Origins.